Hello and welcome to the back nine of round one. It's our feature card at the 2023 Jonesboro Open, presented by Prodigy. It's our fifth stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your two hotkeys.
Honk.
Honk.
Welcome to the back nine. We are seeing some lush conditions out there. It's really nice. A little bit of wind, nothing too crazy. Highly scoreable. We are watching some people shred.
Yeah, it's the lowest scores we've seen in a long time, especially consistently with a lot of people. 5 down so far is lead on our feature card, but Haley King 11 down through 17. Aria Castrita in the clubhouse with 9 down. Everybody in the top 20s under par. That is certainly new this year.
Yeah.
The FPO is shredding this field better than ever before, but it's kind of funny coming from Champions Cup to here where we have no out of bounds and no trees really to worry about.
Yeah, very different.
Hole 10, 360 feet, very slightly downhill, but mostly flat because it comes right back uphill just a little bit before the green. This is one of the most difficult greens on the day to attack because of this very late left to right fade. A distant sidearm is the way. If you've got 360 on a sidearm, that's 100% what you should do. The backhand turnover is risky because if you go early, there's a little patch of trees that can be difficult to even save the par.
Kristin with a gold line St. Pro gets it just over the log. That's so good.
Such a touchy shot.
You usually see those hit the log and drop, and then there's not really a putt from there, but not if you're Kristin and you're perfect.
Catrina probably trying to do a hyzer flip with some turn. She keeps it low, not on purpose, and she finds the log.
Yeah, she's asking for it to get up. She's on the good side of the log, so that's something. Cat with the star strike, starting it out too wide, it looks like.
But that's the error you want to make. Turning it over early is a death sentence. You'd have to get really lucky through there. It's
dramatic.
So thick.
There's a guillotine in the bushes back there.
I know from experience.
Caroline with an X3, which must be understable. Oh, you never see that.
That does not happen.
She literally chopped the rope to the guillotine to get through there. That's nuts.
Saving everybody behind her.
I've never in all my years, I'm pulling rank on this one. You never see that happen.
It doesn't. Sometimes it takes 2 to get out of there.
Gosh.
So truly unbelievable.
Truly.
Kat from the left side of the fairway, still having some trouble over there, but she gets it to the green. Catrina with a nice little simple turnover. This green slopes off very steeply behind the basket. If you go past, you can roll away very easily.
Yeah, that shot might have looked simple from Catrina, but definitely a lot of touch there. Caroline's super lucky to be looking at this basket.
It's really just truly unbelievable.
Great par.
Yeah, 6th most difficult hole of the day with only 9% birdies. That's 4 on the day.
Kristin, little right on her birdie putt.
Missy Gannon, Hannah Wynn, Emily Beach, and Katie Tati finding 2s. Emily Beach, a lefty. I watched her put it almost into the bullseye.
One of the few left-hand friendly shots on the course, I'd say.
Yeah, playing with Emily today, I realized just how unfriendly this course is to a lefty.
It really is, yeah.
She still shot very well. Very impressive to watch.
I played with Chrissy Fountain, who's also left-handed, and it was pretty much all forehands all day. Looking like a bunch of pars here. Some shimmies from Cat Mertsch. If you didn't watch the front 9, go watch it just for Cat Mertsch's interview.
It's really a lovely backstory, and really some cool insight into how disc golf can change someone's life.
Hole 11 is a par 4, 560 feet. It's kind of awkward. You're teeing from downhill over the crest of a hill, trying to keep your disc angle flat, then go straight before fading to the left. Second shot usually sets up nicely for a sidearm. You really want to keep it in the air all the way to the pin. A lot of people land kind of near that little creeklet stream. Yeah, and you don't really get the ground play if you're trying to skip it in there. You do see some people try to throw a straight shot or even attack with a backhand and hyzer on the second shot, but it's definitely more difficult.
And that patch of woods on the early left and early right of those two shots respectively is brutal. You want to make sure to err away from those two spots.
Kristin cuts through, though.
Catrina grip locking, but making it through the thickest trees in the world.
Yeah, I think it's better to be on that early right just a little bit opposed to left.
If you don't get off this tee, though, it pretty much eliminates birdie.
Yeah. Trees are 90% air.
It's math.
Mm-hmm. Cat Mertsch with a star shrike landing in the prime landing area. Excuse me. Champion Glow Thunderbird. Caroline with a D1.
Yeah, really nice looking, strong hyzer shot.
Perfect.
Right in the middle. This plate is the fourth most difficult hole of the day.
Oh, interesting.
Only 11% of the field taking birdies. That's only 5.
Yeah, it's Katrina
Yes.
going roller. Yes, girl.
Oh my gosh, we haven't seen Catrina rollers in a
We
while.
haven't. That is a great point.
Yay. To circle 2, come on.
To the trickle. Yeah, at 560, you would think a lot more people are birdieing this, but it's definitely 2 very technical shots.
Kristin trying to work that flex forehand, loved the angle and the height, but she catches that low-hanging branch.
Caroline with, what do you think, 230
Yeah.
left to the pin?
This is the ultimate. Oh my God, that's a great break. I was going to say this is the ultimate mistake because going
it's
early in there
horrible in
is
there.
rough, absolutely rough.
Tick infested, poison ivy, pit of darkness.
Lots of tiny trees and vines and thorns. I've never been there before.
Never.
I just heard stories.
I wasn't there today. Cat Mertsch gets inside the circle. Kristin's third shot looking, not perfect.
A little rolling.
That's what I was saying. You really want to keep it in the air because you just don't get that favorable ground play towards the pin. Oh, that was mean.
Yeah, it's still getting tangled up in that right corner. It's still not even easy from here, from a knee,
2 knees.
from 2 knees. And if you go deep on this shot as well, there's low-hanging branches, and it can even make the comeback putt really difficult.
Catrina about 55 feet or so for birdie. That looked great. Love seeing the roller.
And Kristin just a little short for her par save.
And Cat for a great birdie putt.
She was one of the 5 today. Haley King, Aria Castorita, Macy Vela Diaz, and Allie Smith. All those sidearm players showing us how it's done on the second shot. Caroline coming back for bogey after struggling a little bit on that very difficult second approach.
After flirting with that right side twice, it could be a lot worse than a bogey on this hole. So
The screen is so steeply sloped as well. Makes the approaches even more difficult because you can pick up and roll. Catrina still leading up our feature card.
yeah, Kristin finding her second bogey of the round.
And they've got some work to do to keep up with old Haley King.
Yeah, little flame emoji, Haley King.
Hole 12, 535 feet. This tee shot, you want to try to cross over this out of bounds ditch and land somewhere in the open right here. All second shots are usually blind depending on how far you throw it, but most of them are blind. You're just looking at that big tree on the left and knowing you need to land just about 35 feet to the right and deep of that, and just throwing and hoping over that hill that it doesn't pick up and roll. This is the steepest hill on the property, and you're throwing up and over it. Do we have wind here today?
A little.
Just a wee bit.
Nothing too crazy. A little head left to right.
I didn't really think about it on my tee shot at all.
Yeah. And Cat Mertsch, you could tell I think her disc was flipping quite a bit, but I think most of that was intentional, and she's well across the little creek.
This center tree that Katrina's flying over used to never really even be in your head, and
now it's right there.
Yeah,
it's
you're
like where
thinking
you
about
want to
it.
throw.
Yep, everyone was only thinking about the one big tree on the left.
Katrina is so far past the out of bounds. They did widen this out of bounds just a little bit.
Wow.
Kristin, ooh, barely. Nope, she's out of bounds.
Yeah,
Surprising.
By widen, Erika means they pulled the stakes away from the creek, so it's
Like 10 feet on either side, probably.
Yep. It's a little bit more distance to cover before being safe. We used to see a lot of players laying up on this feature card, though no one is laying up.
I have this stubborn thought in my head, Caroline Henderson lands nicely, where like the year that I decide to lay up on this one is like the year that it's going to be my last year. Like I need to be able to clear this. I don't know why I feel so strongly.
No, I
don't care what the wind is doing. I'm going for it.
Yes, I agree with you. It's kind of a must-have shot in the bag.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's time to retire. No offense to everyone that didn't make it over today.
Just
that's
what
watching.
I feel. Yeah. Kristin with a really great recovery shot. She even has a look to save par, which is really hard to do from the short side of the out of bounds.
Yeah, it's so impressive because it's a big turnover shot up the hill as well, and your disc has to hold but not roll.
Caroline with a really great shot of her own. Kat Mertsch doing this right side play, which you don't see super often, but it's
Working
there
out.
if you land far enough to the right off the tee.
Kat opting for a sidearm up and over the hill. And she finds maybe right around the edge of circle one.
This is so steeply sloped. We've seen so many horrible rollaways on the screen, so it's definitely risky to run these putts. Kristin got to be going for it, though.
Just a little bit low, dead center.
You don't usually see a bogey from Kristin. Oh, she got 4 birdies in a row earlier, which I decided because it doesn't really have a name, we're going to name after a regional bird of the region we're in. So I'm going to call it a summer tanager for this particular tournament.
I agree with that plan, even though we did not discuss it before this.
No, I just decided. Kat Mertsch with a fantastic birdie on her way to a turkey, maybe, then maybe a summer tanager.
Caroline with a birdie putt, but having to settle for par, just a little bit low.
Kat Mertsch with the unconventional birdie here, taking that right side play, and she is tied for 5th with Catrina Allen through 12. Hole 13 plays uphill 255 feet. It's definitely reachable, but plays a little bit farther. You're trying to go pretty straight on the right side and then fade in just a little bit. Common errors are punching too straight and ending up on the right side, or just kind of sawing it off and maybe catching some early foliage and not getting all the way there. I think everyone's thinking they're going to get inside the circle for a putt on this one.
Yep, this is played as the second easiest hole of the day, with almost 90% of the field getting at least to circle 2 in regulation. This, I was about to say this green is steeply sloped, but
Yeah.
I feel like I've been saying that a lot. I didn't realize how many there were
There's
at
quite a few.
Jonesboro. Yeah.
You see a lot of discs come in on too much angle and pick up and roll down on the right side, and there's not much, not much over there.
Katrina in that early patch of trees, she'll still have an approach for her par.
It's not easy, though. I was over there and was surprised by how difficult the approach shot was.
Caroline hanging it out wide, still getting that fade that she needs, but a little early.
Just a little FX4. Yeah, I think if you're going to make a mistake, you want to kind of skip too much to the left. If you land short right, you tend to get those rolls. Kristin with a grand glory. Looked perfect. She does get a slight roll, but stays at about 20 feet. Catrina with a solid out. She still has a circle's edge putt to save her par. Nice.
Wow. She's looking so solid on the green today.
Her scorecard is looking super clean in the middle stretch.
Cat with a nice birdie putt as well. Super uphill.
Had some wobbles on it. I liked it.
Me too.
Caroline, after some bogeys, and she hasn't had a birdie in a while, looking to score here. Beautiful.
Her putting's been excellent as well today. If she does miss, it is dead center, just a little low.
Kristin with a birdie to go back to 4 under par for the round.
Not a star frame, but lots of good putts. 50% of the field getting this birdie as well.
I would watch so much footage of Cat Mertsch reaction cam. Like, we don't even have to see the shots. Just like, let's see what she's doing.
Mic her up. I want to hear what she has to say.
Same, yeah. What song is she singing today?
Yeah. Hole 14, 520 feet, but this first shot is really huge and downhill. Most players laying up before this out-of-bounds ditch. We might see some of our feature card players going for it, but they push the OB even further out than they have in years prior. It's a lot bigger of a distance carry to get here to this very protected basket, elevated on a little log. I love this approach so much, even from the short side. It's super fun to throw. There is lots of trouble to get in on either side, but it's just trees. It's no out of bounds besides that first shot.
Looks like Cat Mertsch is going for it. Wow.
We know she has the distance.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. This is the same tee pad as the MPO. And I mean, a lot of them are not getting inside the circle on their drives.
Only 15% of MPO is getting to circle one in regulation.
That's nuts. That was a star turn and was unbelievable.
15% of MPO players.
I was trying to remember if we've seen eagles on this one in the past, because it's just not quite worth it. It seems like to go for it because it is a really fun upshot, as Madison says, from the short side and relatively short as well. And if you go for it like Cat did and then end up way left, it's actually a very difficult approach for the birdie.
It's not worth it by any means. The risk is not worth the reward unless you're Cat Mertsch and you put it inside the circle.
Unless you want to do something so cool and beat Cat Mertsch.
That was legendary. I feel like I don't think we've seen anyone do that before.
Not inside the circle.
No.
It's freaking nuts. 15% of MPO, you said?
Yep.
Wow.
Gets to circle one. And I mean, Cat's like almost in the bullseye.
Nuts. Caroline with a great approach shot, totally overshadowed by Cat Mertsch, however.
I don't even know where anyone else landed.
They're all short. They're all in good spots.
Yep. Catrina throws her approach, catches some branches, and knocks down. It's a little deeper in circle one.
Yeah, she'll definitely have to earn it. Slightly elevated pin can make for some putting challenges. Kristin flirting with that left side, but might just be in the bullseye like she likes to do.
Still not to Cat Mertsch's drive yet. We'll watch Catrina putt for her birdie.
Just a wee bit low. Do it for the fans, Cat. Yes, girl. I really don't think we've seen an eagle on this hole.
That is just
I'm going to
crazy.
research it later, get back to you tomorrow. No one call me out.
I feel like we might have seen Paige make a long putt
Maybe.
once.
None that were that close. That was insane.
Everyone was just psyched in the past to just make it over.
Just barely across even was like a stellar shot. That's so crazy.
I'm blown away.
Props to our camera guys for capturing that shot.
Yeah,
as
no
well
one,
in
no
its
one saw
entirety.
that coming. Oh my gosh! Only 65% of the field got to circle one for their birdie.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right, we're gonna lift our jaws off the floor and try to continue.
I'm done, actually. I'm leaving.
All right, cool. Cat Mertsch 8 down with that eagle. Pushing for Haley King now, all of a sudden. Hole 15 is a par 3, 270 feet. Gotta be the easiest hole in the course. It's slightly uphill. Most common mistake is probably leaving it too wide because you do not want to saw it off early and tangle with these branches on the left. It is elevated and fairly sloped as well, so it can lead to some putting challenges, but this one does not feel good to land outside the circle.
It is the third easiest hole statistically, but it definitely feels like a must-get. It's just right there for you to take. Cat leaving it wider than you want. She'll be outside of circle 1.
I guess the easiest was the par 5. Do you remember the second easiest? We had to have already played it.
I believe it was hole 3.
Unstatistically, the easiest hole in the course.
Oh, wait, no, it was not. It was hole 6, the one right after the island hole.
Gotcha. Caroline with an FX4, a little right and doesn't quite get the ground play. She's just inside the circle. Kristin with a Grand Glory. In the bullseye. Gosh. Parked.
The magnet.
Activate.
A little early from Catrina,
Just
but
a little.
it sneaks through.
She might be just outside the circle deep.
Every
Or
putt
left, rather.
Every putt on this green except for short feels like a death putt.
Yeah.
I really respect this layup play.
You could tell it kind of hurt Cat to lay that one up. Catrina able to run it. Not able to cash in on the birdie.
Caroline lining it up.
Nice.
Almost no chains needed.
And if she misses that, you're thinking about, is it a birdogey? Probably. Look at this left side catch. Nice.
Oh, yeah. The toilet bowl.
I object.
Caroline hitting almost all of her putts today. It's really awesome to see. Feature card can be a kind of a recipe for some nerves, and she seems very comfortable.
Yeah. Again, the last time we saw her was Waco, so I'm going to correct that from the front 9, so all of you can just not comment about it. And anyway, she has an entirely new bag since then. She's Prodigy now and dealing with new courses every week, a new bag, and she is looking pretty confident out there. It's impressive.
Hole 16, 520 feet, and probably the most technical hole on the course. This downhill sidearm or backhand turnover is extremely tough to find the right landing zone because it is so small. You want to get past this tree the drone flies over, but stop short of the out of bounds line before the pond. Your second shot has to go over the pond. It's a very narrow gap to the basket. Lots of little pine trees you can get stuck in. And one big overhanging tree that if you hit those branches wide right, you will drop down into the lake and have to go back from the drop zone.
Those pines aren't so little anymore.
No,
they're
not.
starting to get pretty hard to get through, and you kind of have to go around and leave yourself a tough putt.
And if you hit them, they're like solid enough that you could bounce back and into the water.
Yeah, I saw it happen today. Caroline with her A3 putter. Wow. Into the perfect landing zone.
This plate is the most difficult hole of the day, and it is definitely due to this first shot.
This is a medium moonshine harp from Kristin, and I think she's a little tucked left, it looks like.
Yeah, she may just have to pitch out from there, and that's a pretty common problem on this first shot.
There is a backhand hyzer route. Did you talk about that? But it's much less common. This is definitely the way to go. Cat Mertsch showing us how it's done with her Champ Firebird.
It got a little, that gap got a little smaller this year.
It did.
Because of all the greenery. Most players doing this turnover. And
Oh, sit down.
yeah, this is pretty normal as well.
That sucks. So that she's going to have to go from the drop zone. I would really like them to... Oh, wow. Kristin is way in here. To move this hole back. I think we used to play it as a par 5 and make it an eagleable par 5 like it is for the men. This is the easiest hole for the men and our most difficult hole. And I don't love it.
It's because this landing zone is a little bit fluky. It's chancy. There's
Oh.
no way to smartly find yourself in a good spot with footing.
There's a little bit of luck involved. Cat Mertsch just punches through those pines, and she's going to be pretty close for her birdie.
Caroline with a nice landing zone as well, opting for the sidearm. There is an OB line over there, but she
hits those trees. She must be safe.
Kristin's third is still a little pinch, but she's got that sidearm flex shot dialed.
Oh my gosh.
And she gets through the trees too.
Good. You see a lot get through. I mean,
I didn't.
Okay. I feel like it's kind of in that 50-50 realm, if you don't hit that main gap.
Catrina getting tangled up.
She'll have a putt,
circle
though.
one putt.
It's just awkward.
Caroline pitching from the rough. She'll have a death putt downhill from just outside the circle.
Yeah, she must have been looking at a pretty tough gap there. What do you think? Par 5 next year? Ooh.
The full commitment
Full layout. Still laying there.
So many chains that it does not grab. I like the par 5 idea. There was only 4 birdies on the day, and I just don't think that's quite enough. That it's not because people are throwing bad shots. It's just they're not landing in a spot where they can even have a chance to access the green.
Caroline missing high, checking up pretty close to the basket, might have awkward footing. Cat Mertsch for a birdie. Nice.
She's
all right,
one of the 4.
birdie, eagle. What is that? What's a regional bird? Not to put you on the spot.
It's got to be something that's a little bit more rare in the area.
Yeah, just think on it. We'll come back to us. Caroline with a bogey. Kristin Tattar saving par with that. I mean, one of her shots was only about 4 feet, so impressive. Cat 9 down now through 16.
Pushing for the double digits. Fully caught up to Arya in the clubhouse at 9 down.
Hole 17 is a par 4, 560 feet. You mostly see backhands over the hill that are kind of maybe a turnover or just a hyzer that kind of push right and then get just past that tree and stake we just passed. Then it sets up for kind of a straight-ish shot depending on how far left you get off the tee. You see a lot of sidearms, you see a lot of turnover, slower speed discs. There is out of bounds on the left side. You can see there's a parking lot up there. Is it barbed wire? Do you remember? Up there? So you get 2 meters of relief if you do find the out of bounds. You don't see a ton of people finding that OB though. You see more, I think, people challenging this right side like we're seeing Kat do, although she gets away with it.
I don't know why this year it feels like the tee pad got moved backwards a little bit because both Rebecca Cox and I popped off some pretty good drives and we still weren't quite to the landing zone. So I don't know what feels different today.
Interesting.
Than in years past. We'll see what Kristin has to deal with. But I feel like normally people are getting far enough where they can look straight down the tunnel.
Caroline looking like she is finding the landing. Oh no, it's 2 left. I thought that looked great.
It's not terrible over there though. She'll still be able to throw a standstill down the hill and even maybe have a shot at birdie. Kat turning it over a little much. She's going to get tangled up in that corner. And that all but eliminates the ability to get to the green.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Not without something crazy. Katrina going roller through all of these trees. There's a forest of trees right here.
A surprising decision, I feel
Yeah,
like.
it seems like there's a gap right there, though.
For pitching out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit more open down there than we're giving credit.
She consistently plays much better than us, so let's not question her decisions.
No, Caroline having to swing through a big bush. She covers some ground, but she's going to be tangled up on the right.
Kristin going forehand, which is a great play here. She throws nice and low, hoping for a little ground action. And looks like she finds the circle. You see a lot of people come in too hot and skip past and right of the basket and not really have much of a putt. So speed control, name of the game on this approach.
Kat demonstrating that as well. What a great approach.
Katrina almost pitched all the way out. She's still on the edge of the rough going sidearm.
And gives herself a look.
All right.
Caroline's third, just a little chip shot to the green.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
That would have been some kind of save for Katrina.
Gosh. Oof.
Kristin low on her birdie putt.
30% of the field taking a birdie.
Cat, Mertsch, 10 down.
Double digits at home. And a slew of tap-ins as we head to the last hole of the round. The second most difficult hole of the day. And the second par 5. Kat Mertsch 4 strokes above Kristin Tattar on our feature card. Trying to get up there with Haley King at 11 down, still astounding. One of the narrowest gaps on the course. This tee shot is very downhill. You do not want to throw something with hyzer because there's an out of bounds line all the way down the left-hand side. You want to get out here in the open, then you have to pick left side or right side. Left side gives you a little bit more of a flat shot, whereas the right side's more uphill. But you're just happy if you get to that tree area for birdie after this menacing drive. The green is fairly flat, a little bit of a slope. There's out of bounds that wraps around both sides, left and right, pinching behind the basket. Kat with a really good looking shot, going really straight. Not a lot of ground play, and that is smoked.
That's so far. Kristin opting for the sidearm here. Definitely pulls it a little wide.
I love the sidearm play. Takes that out of bounds on the left out of your mind.
Yeah, Kristin's still quite a bit of work to do, though.
Caroline.
You don't see this, or you haven't seen it as much this year anyway because there's more foliage than we're used to. And the hyzer's definitely harder, takes a lot more power. But Caroline gets most of the way there.
So this hole, everyone can birdie it. It's within reach of everyone in the field, but this tee shot's so difficult that it kind of can knock you down to par really fast, or even Katrina's going to have a hard time even getting par from where she landed.
Yeah, depending on where she takes it, if she's short side of that creek, it is so hard to scramble from there. If she made it a little bit across the creek, it's possible to get a par.
But yeah, everyone wants to attack because you can birdie it, but it's all about making smart decisions because it's one of the easiest holes on the course to bogey, with almost 40% of the field getting a bogey or worse.
And you talked about the out of bounds, right? How they pulled it off. So not really something you want to be messing with.
A really nice sidearm shot from Caroline.
Yeah, so smooth. Wow.
She'll be right behind that group of trees. There's decision time.
Katrina's third, kind of low.
I wonder if it looks like she was trying to fully commit to that right side. The OB is so close over there, so it's easy to saw one off, get a little nervous.
It almost looked like she was trying to hit that middle gap.
You think so?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a bummer. Landing right up against that stake.
finally to Kat Mertsch's drive. She's going left side. This is tricky here, but she does a great job of it.
She has so much control over drivers now.
Yeah, that was so straight and pretty. What do you think? Kat has like less than 250 left.
Yeah.
Like maybe closer to 200.
Yep.
Caroline going through the middle cap and giving herself a putt for birdie. Impressive.
Catrina having to contend with that low-hanging branch in the middle.
Whew.
She tries to go underneath it. It's really tough to get enough distance to get even to circle 2 if you go under that branch.
Kristin dealing with this post on her 4th shot, going reverse patent pending. So much power on her standstill.
Wow.
Not quite enough power to get inside the circle, though.
Kat Mertsch just in a standstill.
Yeah. That's got to be 200 max. Probably 180, 190. It's crazy. Catrina. Oh.
A little soft bid.
Yeah, a little soft bid. Rough finish for Catrina. Kristin, long look for par. Ooh, sit down.
Little roll action on hole 18 screen. Can happen on almost anyone out here.
That was to tie the lead. Kat did leave her approach shot just a little short, but 10 down ain't too bad out here. I think she'll be happy with that.
Caroline hitting the cage, getting a little ramp action.
Kristin about 24, 25 feet for her bogey save, and she misses left side.
Yeah, Kristin talked a little bit about mental fatigue after last week. She said she put so much focus into the Champions Cup that she feels a little bit of a hangover. Also, it's her last week here before going home after a long stretch away from family.
Yeah, I think we're all feeling some fatigue. But,
yeah, straight after a major on a wooded course
and then
rough.
winning by 12 strokes.
Yeah, that's a lot of focus.
All of your competitors, that is a lot of focus.
That's more focus probably than I use all season. Kat finishing out with a par, and she'll have to settle for double digits under. Love seeing the hometown hero with a 10 down, and she'll be on our lead card tomorrow.
Yeah, Catrina Allen and Kristin Tattar with those double bogeys slipping back a bit. Haley King with that 11 down we've been talking about all round. Kat Mertsch, Aria Castrita at 9 down, and Missy Gannon at 7 down. Macy Vela Diaz, Stacey Ronsley, and Ella Hansen at 6.
Yep, 5 down to be in the top 10. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. That used to be lead card material all day.
Yeah, we've seen high scores. Like I said, we've seen a 10, we've seen a 12, but then after that, you saw like maybe a 5 or a 6. You didn't see this.
Yeah, to be in the top 20, you got to be under par. Everyone's super dialed after playing those tightly wooded fairways at W.R. Jackson last week. It's still not a lot of scoring separation as you move into the bottom half of the field, though, so there's room for lots of movement on moving day. We got round 2 tomorrow. We got a little rain in the forecast. Come hang out. Watch us all in our misery. Just kidding. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks to the Founders Club. Thanks to JomezPro. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the two Huckies.
Honk.
Honk.